Hello everyone, this is Ash, and this is 99 Nights in the Forest in Roblox. I had an adventure. There's a new update in this game where you have animal taming. You can tame an animal to be your friend, to be your pet. And there's really three animals I could think of that currently could be tamed. And I wanted to get all of them. That was one of my goals here. And also, since I have the Fisher class unlocked, I wanted to also try to get sharks as well. I haven't seen a shark yet, and I was curious what the whole experience would be, like what it would be like to have a shark. So here's a little montage of me. I'm leveling up my fishing abilities. I'm trying to get my fishing level high enough, and it does take some time. It does take some time to fish. Of course, with the fisherman class, it's a little bit quicker, a little bit easier to get those fishing levels. In this part right here, I'm fishing at nighttime, and I'm keeping an eye out for making sure no monsters try to attack me. I had to eventually give in and turn it in, but I came back during daytime to finish up the little fishing experience. Fishing is one of the cooler aspects of the game, in my opinion. It's just super fun to be able to find these random fishing ponds and things like that and fish. And then plus, it can keep you alive, it can feed you. Could be used for the bioprocessor, the biofuel processor that keeps the fire going, things like that. So it's one of those things I really liked in the game. So we're just fishing, trying to level ourselves up a bit, and that way we can, level up our rod to level 2, preferably. So this fish, I have a theory. I don't have this confirmed yet, but I have a theory that fish is also used to tame bears. But I haven't been able to get that far just yet, so I wasn't too sure. And that's something I wanted to check out too in this video, is I wanted to see if bears do require fish or not. So yeah, we're also building up our base. I like to put the saplings right next to the base so it's a little bit easier, at least as close as possible. You can see I already have some farms put down. Try to put down the farms as quickly as I can, so I always have some kind of food resource if I need to. Right now, the base needs some work. It's it's getting there, but putting down walls is essential because we keep getting attacked by cultists. Every few nights they attack. So I did a bit of an interesting design here. So I'm squaring off around my garden a bit, and I'm just kind of keeping it a tight base, right? So I'm gonna get the campfire in the base, just like this. See, I'm gonna place this here to kind of get the campfire inside of the base and the crafting bench and the gardens. So it's kind of like a strange shape, but it's effective. The reason I'm hanging on to stakes during this video is I want to be able to tame wolves, right? Not just any wolves, though. But wolves also require stakes. Stakes are just essential when you want to do some pet taming. So regular wolves do require stakes. I think it's like 4 stakes, 3 stakes, something like that, to be able to be tamed. And then you have alpha wolves, which is a little bit more high of a requirement. It's a little bit tougher, but once you get it, it's just awesome to have. So I'm doing more fishing, really pushing to get that level 2. We're gonna do it. We're gonna get level 2 fishing, and it's hard to catch the salmon. Like when you're a level 1 fisher. The salmon have a really small window that you can click on, which I was feeling kind of hardcore, at least early on. I got a little better at it later. So, but I really did want to finish up my base, because I was worried about more cultists attacking and just not being able to take them all out, because I didn't have any weapons at this point except for a spear. And honestly, spear's good, but when you have a lot of cultists attacking you and stuff like that, it's good to have like another kind of weapon, a ranged weapon to defend it off. All right, back to fishing. We're going to get that level 2, and here we are. We're ready for upgrade, but for some reason I challenged the salmon to a duel. It starts kicking my butt for a little bit there, but we get it. We get the salmon. Okay, and then here's the upgrade process. You have to go over to this building over here, and there's 2 upgrade stations. One is for rod, one is for the taming flute. So right now I'm upgrading my rod. Now it's a good rod, which is fantastic. We use a good rod to catch some better fish. I wanted to test that out immediately. So here we are giving it a shot, leveling up. Well, trying to level up my fishing even more in level 2 now. So you see the experience climb is much slower though. So it's going to take a little bit more time to get to level 3. Rods and flutes both max out at level 3 currently. So I wanted to see, if I can get something, if I can get that maxed out. I'm going to be attacked again. But now if you notice, I have all walls. Like my base is much more substantial. I have walls almost all the way around. I'm missing like one more section. And yeah, I have a lot of self-sufficiency in my base. So we have vegetables being grown. Everything else is really nice. So I'm just concentrating on fishing and, trying to level up my abilities. I really wish you could have a fishing pond in your base because that would just be, really endless fish. And I have had seeds happen in this game, like, because this game's randomized, where you can have a fishing pond next to your base. And then you just have to keep like growing your fire area so that you can have it be part of your base. So that would be kind of a cool thing to have. It's just random though, so it's not always going to be something that's the case. Okay, so let's just fish some more, get the thing nice and cooked. I think you could also use torches, like torches you can stick in the ground to expand your fire area. That's something I might want to try in the future for like fishing strategies and stuff like that. All right. So we have a lot of fish. We're getting very close to level 3. And once again, I stayed out too late at night. I was being chased. But I think right here is the pond that's going to do the trick. It's going to get me past that threshold, I believe. But it does take a while with these small experiences we get from the regular fish. Like we need more advanced fish, like that one right there. You see, that gave me a big chunk of experience. And this one might do the trick. No, but it's pretty close though. It's pretty close. Big finale. We're now ready for upgrade. I like how your rod glows to let you know, like, look. If you didn't notice the text on the bottom, look at the glow of the rod and you will see that you are ready. So we have a strong rod now. And I also found armor at some point during this, so I did cut this up quite a bit, so it's more entertaining for y'all. I didn't want you guys to have to see the whole entire thing if you didn't want to. All right, so we got a Taming Flute. If you notice where I got it, it was right next to the camp. It's inside of a tent right next to the camp. It's a new thing on that. So first of all, I'm taming bunnies. This is just a random strategy I decided to try. I normally would tame bunnies, and then go tame wolves. But I wanted to conserve my meat, my steaks, as much as possible. And the ram trying to get me while I was over there taming bunnies. So I got the bunnies tamed, right? Super cute. But what I want to do is, they're very easy to tame, so I wanted to release them and just kind of tame them until I get to level 2. That was my strategy. So I'm going to keep taming bunnies, releasing the bunnies, and that way no harm is done to anybody, right? I don't have to have them go into battle or anything like that. I'm not sure what bunnies actually do for you in this game, by the way, besides be cute. I'm thinking that they're a stepping stone, so you can grab a bunch of bunnies to get yourself to a higher end flute for the most part. So there is a character in this game called the Zookeeper that got unlocked during the 99 Nights update. That character has an easier time with a flute. They're made to like get through the flute stuff a little bit quicker. They can tame a little bit quicker. They just have different advantages that really are cool, and I want to try it out later on. I think Unicorn's goal is to get that done too. All right, so here we are upgrading our flutes to level 2 flutes. So we got the good flute now. And what we could do with the good flute is now, we previously couldn't do this. Now we can try to get alphas. And if you noticed, I've been making stews during this video. I've been making stews. I've been getting carrots pulled aside. The reason I've been gathering all this material is because alphas require stew, carrots, steak. Raw steak, by the way. You cannot cook the steak. So, not carrots, corn. stew, corn, steak. And it takes a while. See, look, this alpha right here, it has four happiness bars. When you're taming them, you have to get every single happiness bar. So you need four of each of these items in order to complete the task pretty much. They only require one per each face, but you need to get all the faces. So here we are, steak, and then let's give it some. I had to empty out my bag because I had too much stuff in it. Here we go, and then corn. That was stage 1 complete. Now we have to get another happy face. It does take a while to tame such a crazy creature, but it's nighttime. It's about to be nighttime, so I can't stay out much longer. I can't linger. I had enough run-ins with the ram and with the deer, so I'm just gonna knock this out. Drop everything on the ground so I don't have to keep carrying it around. And hopefully remember where that wolf is. Which, spoiler alert, I forgot. I immediately forget where that wolf is. I kind of know. I put markers on the ground, and that helped. Like dropping the corn, dropping the steak, dropping all that stuff on the ground. Super helpful to be able to have a visual marker. Otherwise, you would never be able to find this guy again. He doesn't have any special marker on the map. You can't see anything. And just when you get close, you'll see the little happy faces or whatever. So I was like, oh no, I hope I don't lose it. But we didn't. We found him. Just had to look for the steaks. That was the main thing. Tried to feed him a fuel canister, apparently. So here we are getting our first friend, our first pet. Can we do it? I mean, we have all the resources, right? The only problem I've always faced was, yes, I might have all the resources, but do I have the time before nightfall? It was getting close. So we now have Sage, our alpha wolf. This is our first alpha wolf. I wanted some powerful allies, and the alpha wolf is great for that. Look at that. And we're being attacked tonight. Return to your fire. We get to test out the alpha wolf against Cultist. Perfect test case scenario right here. So they're going to attack our camp. I get to see what the alpha can do and what I need to do as a pet owner to keep my alpha happy. Come on, Sage, take him out. So Sage did get hit for 1 damage. And Sage is more powerful than a regular wolf, right? Because it's an alpha. She's the alpha wolf. She has 4 hearts. So with a regular wolf, they would almost be defeated already. But Sage is halfway. I think a standard wolf has 3 hearts. It depends on how many times you have to tame it. So for a regular wolf, you have to do the whole taming thing 3 times. For an alpha, 4 times. And I'm not too sure at this point for a bear. But I want a bear. That's another goal. I was thinking, first of all, there's an achievement for getting a powerful ally, right? Which would be a bear, I assume. Because I think that would be the most powerful that you could get. And third of all, I just wanted to have all 3 of the pets that I know of. Well, there's also the kiwi, but the kiwi you can see in UnicornTrekkie short. It was during the admin event that they introduced the kiwi. I haven't seen it in the game yet. So here we are getting the last tier of the flute, tier 3, which is going to allow us to be able to tame bears. However, I wanted to take a fishing break, and I also thought about this while I was fishing. I'm like, why don't I get a second alpha wolf? So that way it can help me, pretty much take on a bear. It's a two-edged sword kind of strategy, and you'll see why later on in the video. So I just wanted to take a little fishing break to kind of gather my thoughts, try to give the wolf a salmon, and it didn't want the salmon. So I was like, oh man, okay. Well, I guess I'll just eat the salmon myself. So here we are trying to get Sage's friend. Honestly, having 2 alpha wolves just seems like the go-to. If you remember The Walking Dead, was a Michonne. She's got, or there was a character in there, I don't know which, that has a bunch of pets. And it's really cool. So I was thinking, man, just having what I really wanted was 3 alpha wolves, but there is a cap for how many pets you can have, which is unfortunate because I really did want 3. I thought it would be so cool to have. All right, so here we are. Give it a stake. See, what I'm wondering, though, is if bunnies count as part of that cap, since bunnies don't really do anything beneficial to our adventures, as far as I'm concerned. All right, and then we have one more level. Let's get this last level, get ourselves another pet. We had all the materials ready to go because I've been stockpiling it for a while. And there we go. So now we have Sage and we have Bandit. I love how they can randomly generate the color of the fur and everything. It's really cool. I don't really like Bandit's. Bandit's color kind of blends with all the other alphas, but I don't think the eyes are red. I have to look again, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they're not red. All right, so here we go. Off to test out my wolf army. How are they going to perform out here in the wilderness, in the open? They're now tamed. They're now my pets. So I wanted to test against an alpha. And look, they destroyed that alpha. They absolutely destroyed it. Because my theory is the alpha has the same amount of hitboxes as them. So the alpha itself has 4 hearts, right? And I probably took down like 3 hearts with my rifle or whatever, my revolver. 2 shots, probably 2 hearts, and then maybe they took out the other heart. So there's one of the kids is. There's bears nearby it. I want to get a bear, but you cannot get those bears. So I was gonna look around and see if I could possibly find another bear. I didn't, not yet. I have to go build up the fire a bit more first, and I already did that. So now we're going back on an adventure again. Now our fire's maxed out, and we are trying. Well, first of all, I'm testing out the wolves. It's a little hard for them to attack. Like, I have to be under attack for them to do anything. Like, something has to try to hit me for them to engage into it. They will not go. If I shoot it from here, they're not going to go after it. So I'm not sure if there's a way to enable that, but this is a good way to get an alpha pelt. I can tell you that much. Like, destroying the other alphas with the wolves. I found this pond, by the way, and I thought that pond that I found over there by the alphas would be a great place to fish for a shark. I mean, where else am I going to find a shark in a game that just has ponds, right? I was thinking a big green pond would have sharks. It was just an assumption. I'm not sure because that's one of the achievements for fishermen is to get sharks, 5 sharks, to get level up, right? So I'm going to figure that out. I'm going to figure it out. Here we are just getting a bunch of good fish, actually. Those were really good fish. And Bandit was standing on top of Sage's head. Not sure why. They're trying to do teamwork. Trying to do some kind of wrestling move. I don't know. Okay. And see, again, they're not attacking those guys when I kite them. So I'm not too sure about that. But we found a bear. But the problem is you can only have 2 pets. And I didn't think that far ahead, right? So I have 2 bears. I have 2 pets already. And I was trying to get in a fight with a bear. But the bear has 5 tame bars. So it's got 1 extra health point for taming. I wanted this bear so bad. I so bad wanted it. Look, they destroy this bear. As soon as the bear couldn't attack me anymore, he went for the wolves. He did some damage. He did some pretty big damage to Sage. I did have to get rid of Bandit because I wanted to tame this bear. Unfortunately, it also became nighttime, and our good friend Mr. Deer decided to kill us. So that was the end of that run. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to UnicornTrekkie for more of these videos, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.